Hello everyone, this is Bill Griffin. Welcome to the Different Take podcast. Today I want to give you an update on what's happening with the Gwinnett County School Board. I've done a couple of episodes, appreciate you listening, and there's been some developments since those that I want to share with you. So I'll get right to it. This is a Gwinnett County School Board meeting, January 20th, 2022. School Board member Karen Watkins.
We also heard a lot about CRT, something we do not teach in our school system. And I will continue to say that every single board meeting, just to help folks to understand that we do not teach that in our school system. And, feel free to work with us if there is still something that makes you think that. We have a great operations group that can help walk you through what we do. But CRT is one thing we do not teach. We do not teach in our school system.
So Karen Watkins says CRT is not taught in Gwinnett County Public School System, but she does not say that it would be a bad idea to teach it, nor does she dispute the fact that many people claim that as euphemisms for CRT that these concepts are not taught, euphemisms or components of critical race theory. Terms: systemic racism, equity, anti-racism, social justice, and culturally responsive teaching. She doesn't touch upon those matters at all. She's pretty much saying there's nothing to see here or to worry about. Then comes along January 28th, a Federalist headline, and they published a syllabus to a class that was planned exclusive. Georgia School District publishes plans to teach critical race theory, then hid them. There's also this class that was planned, and this is from the syllabus of the class that was planned. Students will bridge the skills from AP language to AP research, analyzing the value of using different lenses in social criticism, critical race theory, feminist, Marxist, psychoanalytic, and so forth. So the idea that CRT was not going to be taught wasn't planned. They have made no effort to explain this. In a subsequent rebuttal to this Federalist article, which posted some other information, this article made national news. So this article, there is also a quote from Tarece Johnson. Implicit and effective multicultural learning, especially with consideration of racial diversity and equity in education, is critical race theory. So Tarece Johnson was elected the chairman of the Gwinnett County School Board in the same meeting, January 20th. She was nominated by Everton Blair, another school board member. Two of the members, Mr. Knudsen and Mary Kay Murphy, voted against. The other three, Watkins, Blair, and Tarece Johnson, voted for Tarece Johnson. So she is a proponent of critical race theory. There it is. In the Federalist is where this was published. So a few days after the Federalist published this article, and it was picked up on national media, a few days after the Gwinnett County School Board posted a sort of a page on their website contending that the Federalist was, they were reporting this inaccurately and so forth and so on. This post, very much in line with what many of Tarece Johnson's speeches and her words in the school board meetings. It looks like she wrote it. Who knows? It's not, there's no date on it, nor is there an author, but I'll read some. So this is from the website. Myth: Gwinnett County Public Schools teaches critical race theory. They're claiming that the Federalist This all derives from this article that is not their headline. Their headline is that they were planning to teach, this is not a myth. This is wrong. There may have been other websites that picked this up, but this is a very self-serving post, very defensive, and there's no reason to clear up the fact. Doesn't clear up a myth that doesn't exist. The next, if you scroll down further, and this is in the Gwinnett County Public Schools website under About Us, you type keywords in, you can find this article pretty easily. Myth. Tarece Johnson, the chairwoman of the Gwinnett County Public Schools Board of Education, has publicly endorsed CRT and openly displayed her hatred of white children. Well, you be the judge of that. So this is a social media post. Vote Tarece Johnson, July 1. I'm assuming this is 2020. Quote, black children are suspended, detained, demerited, and isolated in schools for trivial things every day. And there's a killer cop sitting in every school where white children learn. They hear the litany of bad statistics and stereotypes about scary black people in their classes on the news. They gleefully soak in their whitewashed history that downplays the Holocaust of indigenous, native peoples, and Africans in the Americas. They happily believe their all-white spaces exist as a matter of personal effort and willingly use violence against black bodies to keep those spaces white. If you let them tell it, black kids are in terrible shape while white children are doing gloriously. But how can white kids be doing okay when they're growing up to be police officers, district attorneys, mayors, judges, media, mothers, fathers, and presidents who take away black life and call it justified? As black bodies drop like flies around us from physical, medical, economic, and material deprivation and violence at white hands, how can we in any of our minds or metrics conclude that the whites are all right? What kind of warped standards are these? This is a pretty hateful diatribe against or expressing contempt and hate for white people. And she claims that the myth, actually she does not refute this. Gwinnett County School Board website, she does not refute this contention. The interesting thing that I found about this post is trivial things every day. If you look at the first sentence here, black children are suspended and so forth, disciplined for trivial things. Well, disrupting class for the parent of the child, that may not be such a trivial thing. For the children who are trying to learn and they're being disrupted from that in one way or another, the parents aren't going to think that that's a trivial thing either. But here she claims that the claim is teachers are disciplining children simply because they're black. There's no reason to do this. They're trivial things. I don't know what her definition of trivial is in this case. When you go further through this post, you see the word they. They hear the litany. They gleefully soak. They happily believe. If you let them tell it. Okay, she mentions white children, white kids. So throughout this, she's referring to they, children, racist children. And this is who is in charge, or the head person of the Gwinnett County school system, the biggest, I understand, the largest school system in the state of Georgia. So to introduce Tarece Johnson, here's a video montage.
Si vous voulez être roi, vous devez me tuer. Que Non, personne. Regarde, ils ne me soutiennent plus. Quelle sorte de roi abandonne son peuple? Voilà. Toi, tu veux? Non, personne. Qui peut être roi?
Shalom, y'all. So I've made a post before about racism. Racism is prejudice plus power. I've also commented before that many white people and black people are impacted by systemic racism. Because we all live in a society that is founded on the oppression of black and brown people, because we live in a society that glorifies whiteness, we are all impacted. Black people are impacted because we internalize this racism, and white people are also impacted because they are socialized racists. White people have privilege just because of the color of their skin. They have certain advantages that black people and brown people do not have. Because of societal racism, we have organizations that are structurally racist. And these organizations are easily identifiable because the leadership is all white. Let's change the power structure and end racism.
The code is bad, and Mary Kay Murphy and Carol Boyce, who are current members of this school board, are engaging in the Southern Tea Party that is often linked to white supremacy. They are undercover spurring hate that is putting the lives of black and brown people in danger. They are participating in meetings that encourage fear and myths. They are complicit to the propaganda that perpetuates the societal ignorance and maintains systemic racism, which trickles down into the policies of our school district. We need to save our students from the codes of institutional racism. Thank you.
Well, that kind of tells you more than you need to know probably about Tarece Johnson. The interesting thing in reviewing these school board meetings is there's plenty of teenagers, even middle school age. They come to these meetings and they make presentations. And they express the tenets of critical race theory. They express anti-racism. They claim that there's systemic racism, so forth and so on. This happens over and over again. Teachers express this, school board members express this, administrators express this, and they do this often. In every meeting, this subject comes up. It comes up time and time again. Diversity and inclusion. Equity is the code word. Parents want children to be thought of as individuals, not members of a racial group. They want their children's individual rights protected. They want them educated on their merits, regardless of their race. They want equal opportunities for their children. They don't want them discriminated against or given special favors. They want their children to have freedom of speech. Excellent achievement is a much higher priority than diversity. Equity can only mean putting a child in a racial group that compete with other groups. The goal of equity is to have race-based equality of outcomes, which demands active discrimination to achieve those outcomes. Equity means suppressing free speech. Parents do not want their children indoctrinated in political ideology. Parents see the school board, Ms. Watkins, as playing a game of semantics. Karen Watkins does not say that critical race theory should not be taught outright, just that it isn't taught. But it's called other names. She does not claim that it isn't called by other names as well. She does not say that critical race theory is not the predominant or ideology with many administrators, principals, or teachers and students within the school district. She is silent about students K through 12 being taught that systemic racism exists and this notion is taught in an uncritical fashion. She does not advocate for equality. So this is an update on some developments with the Gwinnett County School Board. I plan on talking about this further in the upcoming weeks, and as things progress. Good luck to the parents, and I really appreciate you listening. Check out our website, the other platforms that we're on, and I really appreciate you listening, and thank you for any comments that you have, even those that are where you disagree. I would like to hear where you disagree with me. Thank you.